Okay, time for some man time. The missus and I were having a talk about a topic, and in the topic, chicks were asking about trauma, female trauma. So I made a statement about it because I don't believe that most chicks have that much trauma, not real trauma. I think that most chicks have, how would I say, lingering effects of discomfort and tantrum. You know, shit not going their way, but not trauma. And then the missus asked me, what did you ask me, love?
So so I think the topic was that trauma is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And I guess the part when the lady said trauma is not your fault, kind of didn't agree to it. And for me, it
I
was
didn't I didn't agree to the
correct,
fact that trauma is not your fault.
right. And then
Okay.
for me, it was more of a 50-50,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the scenario. Because my question then was, when you are a child and you're being traumatized by your parents,
Mm-hmm.
is that your fault?
Right. I told her no. When you're a child and you're supposedly traumatized by your family or your parents, that trauma is not necessarily your fault. I said necessarily, meaning sometimes it is. You see, when you grow up in dysfunctional environments and you tell the truth, what you'll learn is a lot of kids do a lot of kid shit. And that kid shit that they do, they learn from the kids that are a little older and or the adults. Now you would think that that would be the adult's fault. And it would be. But it is also not necessarily not on the kid. You see, when the little girl sneaks out of the house against her parents' guidance, authority, against their instruction, when she lies and she cheats and she sneaks and she connives, when she learns their patterns, she learns when they move and when they don't move, how they move and how they don't move, so that she can slither between those cracks to go and do what she wants to do, and something befalls her that is uncomfortable, that is undesirable. Is it her fault? Or is it the parents' fault? Is it the parents' fault that she lied, that she disobeyed them, that she disregarded them, that she not considered them? Is it the parents' fault that she deceived them, that she disgraced and dishonored herself and them? Or is it her fault because she was determined to do it? Is it the little boy's fault, or is it the parents' fault? When the little boy wants to go outside the house with his friends and they're all sneaking around their parents and slithering between those cracks, when and when they don't move, how and how they don't move, where and where they don't move, so that they can smoke a cigarette, which turns into smoking weed, which turns into being the bright little boy, then turns into being the gray, dark, pale skinned adolescent. You know, the ones who have to find a way to buy a handgun, who takes a knife with them to school, you know, who does all the fuck shit, clicking up in gangs, going out to fight purposely, looking for a rumble until somebody dies. Is it the parents' fault then? No, quite the contrary. It's the child's fault who wanted to do that. And you know how you know? If you're being truthful, if you're being realistic, you want to know how you know? Because you're a child too. All of you adults who don't know that there is a level to growth, you start off in infancy. They call that neonatal infancy. And then from neonatal infancy, You go into toddler. And then from toddler, you go into childhood, young childhood, older childhood. And then you go into adolescenthood, young adolescenthood, older adolescenthood, and then adulthood. But for some strange reason, most of you still call older adolescents children. You still call young adolescents children. You all still call old, young, adolescent, and young, old children babies. Because you're illiterate, imbecile, idiotic, on purpose, stupid. You know, I can remember as a kid, as a child, me helping my siblings lie or just not telling when I find out the truth, and them doing the same for me. I can remember when I would help my cousins sneak in and out the house, and they would do the same for me. And we all were out doing fuck shit. Some of us would get home early enough to not get locked out and to open the door for the others. Which means when my girl cousin was doing it to go be with a boy, I was helping her be a whore. When my boy cousin was doing it to be with a girl, I was helping him be a whoremonger. Yeah. We intentionally did this. And you want to know something else that just blows the lid off? We never stopped. Yeah. We never stopped. So then we'll say, well, maybe it's because the adults created the environment. Again, we say the stupid shit, the idiotic, imbecile shit, because and we come up with all these excuses. Because we forgot that we were children who once wanted to emulate that shit too. Where do you think our children get it from? You saying something? Okay. Where do you think our children get it from? Where do you think our cousins and siblings and nieces and nephews and all the neighborhood where do you think they get it from? Us. The same way we got it from the ones before us. Now, which is different from a child who is not being disobedient and being taken advantage of by the parent or parents. Yes, they have trauma. But my point was about women who were talking about men. Ladies, if you didn't get your parents' permission to fuck off, if you didn't get your parents' permission to have boyfriends and to go get your gut smashed in, to go get your throat, and your esophagus asphyxiated, yeah. You know what that means? It means you were rebellious. You were dishonest, deceitful, disrespectful, disregarding, dissociating. And whatever comes from that is your fault. That's not called trauma. That's called an unfavorable result, an unwanted result. And you're pissed because things didn't go your way. But why would that be traumatizing? Because if you're pissed that things don't go your way, then what you're essentially saying is you're trying to make sure that things didn't go the other person's or the other people's way on your behalf, which means not only are you traumatized, but you're traumatizing. But what do I know? I'm an asshole. I didn't live in this life, I guess. The same way you live in this life, I guess. And I didn't do the same things that you do in my own way, the same way you do the things that I do in your own way. But anywho, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get the conversation started. I'd like to know how you're perfect and the world fucked you over while you walk around with all the painful marks and scars and the painful paint and piercings because you like pain. And that pain that you mark and scar and paint on yourself represents not what happened to you, but who you are. And until that time, man, time out.